Okay, so we have an urgent breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation. Do me a favor and share this video. Once again, thank you so much for your support. The US Commander-in-Chief holds Iran crisis meeting at the White House. This is like the fourth one. All right, so Donald called and his top national security crew to figure out what to do as the Holy Land and Persia trade missiles. Meanwhile, the U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff is talking to Iran, sometime directly, sometime through Qatar. The White House isn't saying what the next move is, but you can bet they're weighing every option. All right, so this very important meeting going on right now, guys, and they're trying to figure out how to fix this this big problem going on between Persia and the Holy Land. At the same time, U.S. sent world's largest military aircraft near Iran's border. We have more breaking news updates. Look at this one here. Satellite images show sleeping giant military preparation for possible war with Persia. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. We're going to start with this one first. US sends world's largest military aircraft near Iran's border. Alright, so this was posted today, June 20th. The U.S. Air Force has sent the largest military aircraft in the world to Saudi Arabia, close to Iran's border, according to flight tracking data. The C5M Super Galaxy traveled from Aviano Air Base in Italy to Saudi Arabia on Thursday, according to Flight Radar 24, which track aircraft around the world. Man, I'm telling you guys, this 2 weeks is I do believe is for military preparation, moving warship and planes and stuff like that. At 10:26 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, the aircraft was recorded approaching Riyadh, the Saudi capital. The C5M Super Galaxy is a transportation aircraft that has been in service with the U.S. Air Force since 1970. I think that was the year Nancy Pelosi came into politics. Her and Biden. And Benjamin. They started in the 70s. They all started in the 70s. Right now you got Nancy. I think she's 85 or 86 years old. Joe, I think he's almost 80. Benjamin, he's almost 80. So 1970 is when everything started. And those were, again, their days when they were young. I mean, really young, with hair. Alright, so U.S. Commander-in-Chief Donald has been mulling whether to join the Holy Land strikes targeting Persia nuclear facility, which had been ongoing since last week. So they sent the biggest, world's largest military aircraft. So it says here, you have the White House announced on Thursday that Donald has set a 2-week deadline to decide whether the U.S. will strike Persia. Well, all these stuff that's being moved, it seems... Sorry guys, there's a thundering going on. That was a loud thunder. It seems like we're about to see something pretty soon. So based on the fact that there is a substantial chance of negotiation that may or may not take place in the near future, I will make my decision on whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks, the White House press secretary said. Now, again, guys, they're talking about all options are on the table, all right? The bunker busting missile and tactical nuke, all right? So we pray that those nuke, again, a tactical nuke, we pray that they don't use that. We don't want to see a 1945 all over again. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Once again, the title to this one. Give me a second here. The title to this one: Satellite images show U.S. military preparation for possible Persia war. It was published today, June 2025, June 20th. All right. Happy Friday, by the way. God bless every single one of you. I'm praying that everyone is having a blessed day. If you can, please share the video. If this is your first time, hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Satellite imagery reveals a major buildup of U.S. tanker, aircraft, and heavy transport planes in European bases as Donald is expected to make a decision on striking Persia. So Newsweek has reached out to the Pentagon for comment. And one thing I tell you, the Pentagon has been very quiet. Now we're gonna get to that meeting. I'm waiting for some updates right now. We're not getting much information, but Donald and his crew, once again, seems like in the situation room, they're trying to figure out this situation, this crisis between the Holy Land and Persia. The ongoing military reinforcement signals the readiness of U.S. forces for potential conflict with Persia. Donald is expected to decide on whether or not to have the U.S. join the Holy Land War with Persia within the next 2 weeks, according to the White House. The highly visible deployment of strategic assets across the continent, in addition to the recent arrival of the Doomsday Plane at Joint Base Andrews, may also be intended to send a strong message to Tehran and to increase psychological pressure amid escalating tensions. Guys, that Doomsday Plane is still out there. Now, I heard the Doomsday Plane was heading to the bunker or something like that. But from what I heard, that Doomsday Plane is still out there. And for those of you that don't know about the Doomsday Plane, it is worst case scenario. It's an evacuation transportation for president, the secretary of defense, very important people. What they do is they take these people and put them somewhere else. Let's say this is a nuclear war, they take them to a bunker. All right, and that Doomsday Plane, well, it has no windows. And the reason why it has no windows is because it's to protect them from the blast, the flash, the bright light. Alright, so a surge U.S. Air Force activity appeared in the satellite images spotted by Open Intelligence analyst on X at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany, the Aviano Air Base in Italy, and you have the Chania Air Base in Greece. Persia has warned against any strike and accused the sleeping giant of complicity in the Holy Land strike. Some of the sleeping giant politicians have also raised the possibility of shutting down. Whoa, I'm sorry guys, that was a huge thunder. I don't know if you heard that one. That really hurt my ear. I got the microphone here. That thunder just... give me a second here. Some politicians have also raised the possibility of shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil checkpoint connecting to Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea, and key to oil shipments to Asia in response. Now it says here, tanker aircraft appear to be parked at key locations so they can continuously refuel fighter jets coming from Europe, like F-22s based at RAF Lakenheath in the UK. Truly apologize if I said that name wrong. The largest US base in Europe. Man. See, again, they need these 2 weeks. They need those 2 weeks to get military preparation up to date. If worst case scenario to get involved in this war, they need to get ready. They can also refuel bombers flying from the U.S. mainland, enabling them to fly nonstop round trip to the target area and back. This non-stop flight is called a CONUS, the CONUS mission. CONUS means the continental United States. The last time the U.S. Air Force publicly practiced such a long, non-stop CONUS operation was in February, flying over North Africa for about 30 hours. North Africa is also on high alert because, again, you got missiles. Persia is firing towards the Holy Land. That's very close to Africa. And you have people in Europe, like the southern part of Europe, and some in Cyprus. They're saying that they could see missile flash from their balconies. So that's really close. You got Persian missiles that is hitting the Holy Land, and people in Europe is seeing it. Before, give me a second. That's before and after. This setup means if Donald orders an airstrike, U.S. jets could reach the target without stopping for fuel on the ground. Additionally, some bombers and tankers are already positioned at Diego Garcia, a strategic U.S. base in the Indian Ocean, ready for quick deployment. Can't forget about that island. They do have the B-2 Spirit. I think that's the one that carries the bunker buster. That's the one. And also, they do have the B-52s out there. The recent satellite imagery show U.S. aircraft have vacated a key air base in Qatar, and another sign that a confrontation with Persia could be imminent. You have the White House press secretary, Carolyn. Well, she said, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, based on the fact that there is a substantial chance of negotiation that may or may not take place with Persia in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks. Persia Foreign Minister Abbas told Persia media in these strikes that have been carried out against Persia, there are multiple signs indicating cooperation between U.S. forces present in the region and the Holy Land. So what happens next? The European nations may pursue limited diplomacy with Persia, but broader talks are not likely to resume amid ongoing Holy Land strikes and rising tensions that could increase the chances of deeper U.S. involvement. Once again, that's where we are right now. So they do have all these military preparation. Give me a second here. Look at this one. So look at this here. I'm gonna zoom this one in so you guys have a better view. So you see those blue dots? Those are like military, the U.S. forces, Europe prepared for tensions in the Mideast. The light blue is the U.S. bases. Excuse me. The light blue dots, those are the U.S. bases in Europe. And the dark blue dot is the U.S. bases in the Middle East. We have a whole bunch of bases out there. You see 1, 2, you got all this here, and you got Persia. Persia said, I don't know what happened there. The OBS is acting up. Persia said that they would hit all these bases. They would hit them. They would fire ballistic, and they would hit every single U.S. bases. The light went off. Alright, give me a second here, guys. I'm gonna have to end this really quick. The light went off and came back on. I'm gonna have to end this. We got a storm coming. But thank you so much for watching. Again, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to this address. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.